All right, Fright fans, we are here with Leatherface himself, Gunnar Hansen. How you doing, Gunnar?
Oh, I'm just doing fine. Oh, I'm sorry, wrong movie.
Gunnar just flew into Nashville earlier this evening, and, well, you're here at Outer Limits
My arms are
Comics.
really tired, yeah.
That's right.
Yes, I'm at Outer Limits Comics.
That's right.
Yep.
Nashville, Tennessee.
Nashville,
And
Tennessee.
You're in town because you're shooting a movie called...
Am I shooting? Oh, yeah, I'm shooting a movie called Wolfsbane.
That's right.
With director Ben Dixon.
Ben Dixon, yeah. And it stars Linnea Quigley and Debbie Rochon and Jim O'Rear and yourself, Lloyd Kaufman.
Lloyd Kaufman, yeah.
All the big names came out for this one. That's right.
Yeah.
And it's a werewolf movie, so...
It is a
it'd be lot of
werewolf
fun.
movie. Yeah, it is.
You ever been in a werewolf movie before?
No, I haven't. And this is also my first time to play the Gypsy Elder. I think it's going to be my new role, though, because another producer has approached me about being in a movie, a vampire movie, in which I play the Gypsy Elder.
Wow, you'll be typecast forever as the Gypsy Elder.
But that's good, because, you know, I moved from being the killer to being the killer's father. And then last year I did some stuff where I was the killer's grandfather. So I'm ready for a whole new direction.
I think so, yeah. You know, no telling where it'll go from here.
No. Next thing you know, I'll be playing a vampire.
Hey, there you go. So
Or the
all you
vampire's
directors-
grandfather.
The vampire, yeah, that's it. That's it. So let's talk about how you got started way back in the 1970s. Well, first off, you came here from
Iceland.
Iceland, that's
Yeah.
right. And you moved to the Maine area?
Yeah, we came to Maine and then eventually moved to Texas. So I went to high school and then college in Texas.
Right.
And then while I was in grad school, I actually did was in a couple of student plays. And that was how I ended up getting the part for Chainsaw. I ran into a guy I was in Of Mice and Men with, and while we were reminiscing about the old days, a friend of his joined the conversation who had been cast in the film and told me that they were looking for somebody to play the killer. They had actually hired somebody, but apparently he was holed up drunk in a motel.
How about that?
And so they were getting nervous, and so I went down and interviewed for the part.
And how was working with Toby Hooper?
Oh, it was fine. He was very easygoing, and it was good working with him. He basically told me who the character was, but then after that, it was up to me to create the character.
That's great.
And he liked what I did. So.
Yeah, well, it's a legendary status, and there's some fun facts out there. You know, tell my viewers about the scene, the knife cutting scene with the girl's finger.
Ah, yes. Right here, where Grandpa gets fed some blood from Sally's finger. In the movie, Leatherface takes a knife and cuts her finger, squeezes some blood out, and feeds it to him. And we had a knife that had tape over the blade, so it was not sharp at all. And then I had a bulb of fake blood in my palm of my hand, and the tube that ran out the backside of the blade. So the idea is I nick her finger, squeeze the bulb, and it deposits the blood there. Well, it kept clogging, and we do it over and over and over again, and we couldn't get it to work. So finally, they said it worked, so I was really tired of doing this, so I just turned away from the director for a second, stripped off the tape, and then grabbed her hand, and when the camera rolled, grabbed her hand and actually cut her finger, because I just wanted to get this scene over with.
Yeah.
So she's screaming, and that's really her blood, and I was thinking about that, thinking, I'm sure Toby is looking at her going, God, she's good.
What a trooper. Did you okay this with her ahead of time?
Oh, no, of course not. What, and ruin
slice
the
your
shot?
That's great. Yeah. Now you were wearing heels to make yourself taller. Is that right?
Yes, I was.
Kind of Frankenstein-esque.
Yeah, I had a cowboy boots, and they wanted to resole them for me, so I said sure. And then when I got them back before the filming, they had put an extra inch on the heels, so it got me up to about 6'7".
But you were still able to run in them.
Yeah, well, sort of. I mean, what you don't see is when I fall down and all the stuff, you know, when I bang my head into a wall or into a door because I'm too tall for the doorway.
Right.
So there was stuff like that happened because the boots were so big, and I mean tall, and also the soles were slick. So during the chase scene, at one point, I tried to make a turn in the woods, and of course my feet went right out from under me. Saw went up in the air. I couldn't see very well out of the mask, so I lost the saw. I mean, it went up past the light somewhere. So I rolled over and covered up my head, and luckily it landed beside me. So I was okay. And then another scene when Leatherface carries Pam down the hall before he puts her on the hook. In the first take we did of that, I actually ran into the door frame and knocked me out.
Really?
Well, I couldn't see very well, and I was taller than the door.
Wow.
So, and you watch that scene in the movie, this scene right here. Hey, look, I've got visual materials. This is called visual aids, kids. In this shot, if you watch closely, when Leatherface reaches the door, the first door where the metal sliding door is, you'll notice I slow way down. First take, I was running full speed because I thought that's what he has to do. But in the take we used, I slow way down and then I duck down and walk through the door very slowly, and it's because I didn't want to get.
Yeah, one good whack. That's all it took.
Yeah,
right?
it's true. It's true. Yeah, and somewhere there is footage of me getting knocked out.
Yeah. Wow. There you
I hope
go.
it never
There's
surfaces.
director's cut. Yeah. So then you went on and you acted in some other movies, right?
I did, and of course the peak of my post chainsaw career was probably Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers.
Oh yeah.
They charge an arm and a leg, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. High point of your career there.
Yeah.
And so now you're shooting documentaries, right?
Yes. Well, lately it seems like a lot of my time, because when I wasn't working in films, I've always worked writing and doing books or magazine articles. And the last few years, I've spent most of my non-horror movie time working on documentary films. So I just finished one this last summer called Invisible, which I wrote and directed, and it's about issues of assimilation with Native Americans.
That's great. So now filming Wolf's Bane, and we wish you all the luck.
Thanks
Here with
very
Ben
much.
Dixon.
I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming out.
Thank you. God, what a scary guy.